Namaskaram, I'm SriDeep and welcome to Blossom Your Way, where we focus on growing what matters in your garden, your home, and your life. This is the first episode in our Space Reform series, where I'll be sharing how we turned a simple, everyday front lawn into a productive, edible garden. We live in Adelaide, and when we moved into our home, the front yard was just lawn. It was very neat, very green, just nothing fancy, but it was good looking front yard, just with lawn. We would normally just mow it regularly, water it, and just mostly ignored it. There wasn't really much to do with the lawn. In 2019, I took a career break from full-time work. It was just that life was very full on with two young boys, work deadlines, and it just was really hard. No time to breathe at all. What led to this break began a few years ago, where I was losing friends and families to lifestyle diseases and, complications, lifestyle diseases. And then I've lost a couple of loved ones with cancer as well. And it was both friends and family, both here in Australia as well as in India. And it really hit me very hard. I'm a qualified dietitian, you see, so I knew food played a role in health, but I wasn't a practicing dietitian, so I didn't really know what was happening in that food space, latest, what's the trend happening, why people are getting so many lifestyle diseases and, just things all around it. But on researching, I just realized that until now I was just seeing food as nutrition, and I never saw it as a prevention. And that's something that sparked in my little brain. That also was backed up by an article I read at the time. I wish I remembered where. That said long-term exposure to pesticides in food can be linked to chronic illnesses. My kids were actually very little then, and that really, really shook me. I just thought, what can I do to give good food to my kids? Not like choices of food, but just more quality of food. Do I just switch to organic produce? Should I just buy everything organic? It costs 10 times more than normal vegetables. Or maybe I just grow my own food, then I actually know what's put in there and then, how it's grown and what it takes, what that takes to grow the food and, all of that. So with absolutely zero knowledge about gardening, I just jumped in. My only reference point was my dad. He used to actually grow vegetables in our backyard in India. I actually never really helped him. We didn't even water the plants when he asked us to. That's how bad I was. He would come home from work frustrated and water them at night. Still, I just thought he was the only person that I knew who was gardening or who I knew grew something edible. And he just said, that's okay if you just want to do it. Just buy a plant, water it, and it will just grow. So I did just that. I joined a local Facebook group for local gardening, and I just picked up some containers, kitty litter trays, polystyrene boxes, anything that I could pretty much get my hands on, and I just started. 6 months in, I brought a couple of Aldi raised beds. I just got the cheapest mix from Bunnings. For those of you that don't know what Bunnings is, because I will be referring a lot about Bunnings in a lot of my videos. So Bunnings is the place I believe is similar to Home Depot in US, where you get pretty much everything that you need for home. Like, if you want to plumbing, electrical, gardening, chemicals like, cleaning chemicals, paint, tools, pretty much everything. It's just like one-stop shop for all your home needs sort of a thing. So I just went there and I just purchased a mint plant, a curry leaf plant, because, being South Indian, we use curry leaf pretty much every day in our foods. And we can purchase curry leaves in Indian stores, but back then you get 2 or 3 sprigs for like $1 or so. And I also purchased a lemon tree. I remember I just looked, I was just walking past and I saw a lemon tree. I just picked it up and then I just brought it home. The funny thing is, I didn't even know lemon trees come in different sizes. They're different varieties. I can't really believe myself that I just picked up a tree with zero knowledge. I just thought lemon was lemon. I didn't know that, varieties can exist. That was my very first attempt. And that was just the beginning. If you ask me a question, did I know what I was doing? I'll say no. Hell no. Not at all. The boxes didn't have drainage holes. Well, if I'd known they needed drainage holes, maybe I would have looked into it. The mint did grow well and then it just died. I planted spinach in the middle of winter. It did grow very, very slowly, so I got like 1 or 2 leaves here and there. And then it just died by the time summer heat came in around December. And I didn't even know plants grew by season. Like, honestly, I was just so dumb if I think about it now. I just thought you just plant and hope for the best. I remember ordering radish seeds from one of the, sponsored videos, like, websites that I saw when I was in the gardening group, because it said you can grow radish in 45 days. And then I thought, wow, that's really good. I can get to eat something in 45 days. So I remember the first time I planted, so I brought the seeds, I put the seeds in one of the containers in the Aldi raised beds, and then I marked the calendar, and then I marked 46 days from that calendar. And I went and I actually pulled the radish straight out on the 46th day, just hoping that I'll see this nice, big, luscious radish. But clearly it was tiny, as you can see here. But I was thrilled though. It did feel like maybe I can do this. To sum up, that was my first 9 months in the garden. And then life threw a curveball at me. I was working out in the gym and then I had an accident and I needed surgery. So here I was stuck, recovering, parenting and working, and just hoping that something in my garden will work. And then we come into early 2020s where COVID was really at its peak, and it was something very new and lots of people were dying and there were a lot of emotional things happening around as well. And at the end of summer, almost like autumn, which is around, April, May, so this would be about almost to a year that I started gardening, was that the lawn became all patchy. Where all the containers was, there was like blobs of dead grass everywhere and it just looked horrible. I just don't know if it was the state of my mind at the time, because I was going through so many things and COVID and everything else. I just really burst into tears one day. Like, I got very, very emotional. And then I told my husband, I've just ruined, because this was our front yard, that was how it would look to people, like, who would walk, pedestrians who would walk by, and, just the general look of the house. It just looked so bad. And then I just told him, I can't really grow. I haven't really grown much substantial. And then see, I've also ruined the lawn that we had that once looked perfectly fine. And then he said, it looks like this really matters to you. Why don't you put some more research into it and build it properly? It's okay if you have to spend some money. There's no point in you doing half a job. because he felt like, because I've been persistent, he just said, yeah, I can see that you're persistent. You really want to try this. So just go ahead. It wasn't more that actually gave me a lot of encouragement at that time. And as I said, because maybe it was because of my space of mind at the time, I felt a bit reassured that, I have someone that is happy to walk with me in this journey, which being my lovely husband. And then I started reading, watching videos, and asking questions in forums. I realized that if I really wanted to grow food, I do have to design space that works, not just scatter the pots around and hope for the best. Then I thought I had to learn about soil, seasons, sunlight, garden planning, and just start taking it a bit more seriously. And that's when the idea of building proper raised beds began. In the next episode, I'll walk you through how we built our timber beds, why we choose what we did, what worked, and what we do differently. And trust me, there's a lot we would do differently. And as I always like to say, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. So, what will you begin today? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you find this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. That's how we can grow together.